Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Farhan bin Khairul Azizi from BEEA Section 2/1 and my research supervisor is Sir Farid bin Ibrahim. And today I will do the Bachelor degree project slide presentation. And the title that I have chosen for this project is Smart Car Alcohol Monitoring Driver System. Okay, so for the first one, we will go to problem statement. First is, there are no exact ways that can avoid people from drunk driving. This is because nowadays, some of the testing used by the authorities such as blood testing and urine testing, taking a blood sample on the field and shipping it to a lab for analysis is impracticable, inefficient and time-consuming. As a result, law enforcement agents needed a tool to check the driver's intoxicated level without having to examine the suspect's body. With this system, it will instantly stop drunkards from driving. So next, because there are so many accidents involving drunk driving in Malaysia. Okay, next is because low awareness of drunk driving by the drunk people. This is because even though they know that they will not be sober enough to drive, they still took the initiative to drive and not to order Grab or taxi. This makes people can drunk driving easily without any obstacle. The next slide is project objectives and scope. The objectives of this project is to install a system that can detect the driver's alcohol level and SMS the message and coordinate of the drunk driver car to their emergency contact. Next is to ensure the level of alcohol in the driver body normal and is good to drive and to not let the drunk driver drive the car. Okay. So for the next slide is the methodology section. Next is the project development. The system uses some major components such as Arduino Uno microcontroller and MQ3 alcohol sensor, GPS module and GSM module. After doing researches and studies, these parts will be the key to do this project successfully. So for the hardware development, I will explain as how the system works. The system will operate by the driver will exhale at the alcohol sensor and the system will detect the driver's alcohol level, and if the alcohol level is high, the system will contact the driver's emergency number and will track his location and lock the car ignition system. Okay. Next is the component that will be used in the system. First is the Arduino R3. It has various functions such as computer circuit unit, and it also has tiny computers that will run accessible software package programs, and it also has a process that allows it to be ready to measure information much quicker than a person's brain. This microcontroller consists of 14 pins which can enable inflow and outflow of feeding 6 continuous signals with time-changing quantity, 16 MHz electronic oscillator, a universal serial bus port, power connector. Also, it has an onboard voltage regulator, ICSP header, and a reset button. The microcontroller Arduino Uno will be used as the component that will read the program that has been uploading the programming software to make the circuit progress smoothly and successfully. Okay, so next is the GSM module. Next is the GSM module. Okay, it is used to send and receiving short messages, SMS. It is a wireless modem. So the difference between the GSM module between regular mobile telephone is that it sends and receives data through radio wave. We use this component as one of the main components to allow the message to be sent to the emergency contact if the driver's alcohol level is above the limit, to notify them that the driver is drunk and cannot drive. It is also easy to use as the component only need to insert a SIM card into the GSM module, and with some programming, it will work well with the system. Okay. Next is the GPS module. The GPS module is a global navigation satellite system that uses the medium Earth orbit constellation between 24 and 32 to transmit precise microwave signals that allow GPS receivers to work out someone's location, speed, direction, and time. Using the GPS module, the driver's location can be pinpointed when the message by the system is sent to the emergency contact, and this will make it easier for the contact to locate where the driver is. Same as the MQ3 alcohol sensor, GPS module also has 4 terminals, which 2 of them are ground and source, and they are pin TXD as transmitter and pin RXD as the receiver. Okay, so for the next one is the MQ3 alcohol sensor. The MQ3 alcohol sensor component is chosen because it is made of tin dioxide SnO2. It also has a very high sensitivity to alcohol and has a low affectability to benzene and is suitable to detect the alcohol based on the drinks, such as liquor and beer. Also, the circuit in the component converts the changes in conductivity based on the gas concentration. The advantage of this component is that it has high sensitivity and good selectivity to ethanol vapor, fast recovery, and has a long life. So with that, user won't always have to change the component. In the element, 2 of which are 4 terminal, which 2 of them is the source of terminal and ground terminal, while 2 others are terminal A out for input and D out for output. Okay, next is the software requirement for this project. The software that will be used in this project is Arduino. From this software, programs will be made and transferred to the hardware components via a microcontroller as the bridge to transfer the data and to make the hardware components execute the work. It also contains the text for writing codes, programs, a toolbar with buttons for standard functions, and a couple of menus. Arduino IDE also will be combined with the hardware to communicate with them. When the Arduino is connected by the USB, the program will get transferred to the hardware. Okay, next is the flowchart section. I will show the flowchart for the project. Okay, so this project will show the flow of how the system will be working. For the first one is when the project starts, the process will be continued with the study on the previous research. Okay, next, after that, we will continue to component and software selection, as I have explained at the slides before. Okay, next, it will go into 2 categories, hardware and software. For hardware, first we will design the circuit, and if the circuit is not functioning, we will troubleshoot it back and design again to make it functioning. If the circuit is functioning, we will go to the next step of combination of hardware and software. Okay, so for the software part, we will begin the programming in Arduino IDE software. If the program is not functional, we will troubleshoot it back and edit the program so that it will be executable. If it's functional, we will combine it with the hardware parts. Okay, if the combination is complete, we will test whether it will be successful or not. If it's not, we will troubleshoot the system back, and if it's functional, then it will be the end of the project, as I have achieved the objective of the system and the project. Okay, so the initial result is that this is the circuit design of the system that we will do. There are the GSM module, GPS module, the MQ3 alcohol sensor, the Arduino R3 microcontroller, okay, connected to in a circuit. Okay, so last but not least, the conclusion. As we all know, there are still people out there who still drink and drive, even though it is prohibited and it can cause injury and life-threatening to other people and the driver himself. Based on the project that I have planned and researched from various kinds of reading material, many fatalities and bad things will happen to people who drink and drive. This project's primary purpose is to somehow lessen the cases by installing the alcohol system monitoring in each car. Thus, bad things such as accidents because of drunk driving will be reduced. Based on the idea itself, it will significantly help reduce drunk driving cases in Malaysia. People will be less likely to drive, as the car will lock the ignition system if they have high alcohol level in their body. And with the messaging and tracking features added, it will be easier for the emergency contact to help and go to the drunk driver to help them avoid drunk driving. This program hasn't reached its final stage yet, but the idea and the research has been made to ensure that the testing and the final product will be successful in the next stage. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a nice day and stay safe.